Good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are resuming and hope to be more regular with our series of conversations and the nation wants to know. Let me introduce our first guest by just saying this, that India has been breaking barriers. We've been surprising the world. We've been proving that for us, the sky is not the limit. We will lead as a space power. And there is one man who is working relentlessly to taking us closer and closer to this goal. And that is the chairman of ISRO, Dr. K. Sivan. Remarkable man. And in the last couple of years especially, he has become a symbol, an embodiment of the ISRO spirit. And in my view, he is living proof that perseverance can ensure that meritocratic Indians make it to the top. And he's my very special guest on The Nation Wants to Know. So, Dr. Sivan, thank you for joining me and thank you for your time. First of all, I've been looking forward to this conversation. I always wanted to meet you in person and have a chance to talk to you one-on-one, but such are the times that we live in, that we are doing this remote. But regardless, it's very, very nice and a great honor for me to be speaking to you today, Mr. Sivan. So welcome.
Thank you.
Mr. Sivan, couple of straight questions. I want to take you back to September 2019 for the moment, and we were all up all night. We were watching September 2019, and we were hoping with you, we were praying with you, we were crying with you. What did the Prime Minister say to you when he met you the next morning? And that was that picture which is in everybody's mind, when the Vikram lander failed to make a smooth, soft landing. A Prime Minister came to you, he was hugging you and he was consoling you. Just tell us about the moment. What did the Prime Minister say? What was that moment like? If you can describe it in detail for us.
See, basically, when this lander, the phase was not successful, then all of us were really got affected, and it was a very heavy heart for all of us. The moment that morning, that is when Prime Minister was leaving our center after addressing the Indian community, when he was leaving, I was trying to convey to him, sir, I am extremely sorry, I could not make it. And when I was telling that one, that I was really emotionally exploding. And by seeing me that explode, he really hugged me. And he said, actually there is no speech, that he has not given any talk or anything, but the amount of the hug he had and the soothing, that really cooled down my emotion. And I thought that now I should do more than what we were thinking. That feeling I got at that time.
Yeah. I remember 7th September, and it was about 2:15 in the morning when you told all the crestfallen scientists from a mic, and you said communication has been lost with lander. How hard was that moment for you?
It was unbelievable. The reason is that we had designed that mission in 4 phases. That is, the first phase was most complex phase, wherein the maximum the speed of the craft is to be reduced. And the next phase is a very simple phase. That is we used to call the coast phase. And the next phase is the third phase is that fine braking phase. Then finally we are landing phase. What happened was this that the more difficult phase it has gone through very easily without any problem. And in the next phase, only we could not achieve that required the state, that is altitude, velocity. What we expected was slightly different from what really happened. So third phase was not able to handle these large deviations in the state, and which ended up with the hard landings of that soft landing what we aimed for. And it was really a disappointing moment for all of us. And but now we immediately after that event that we formed a national level committee, that is experts from the DOS and experts from academia. They were sat together and understood what really happened. Now that we understood what really happened, and we now correcting ourselves for the next mission that is called Chandrayaan 3 mission that we are planning sometime next year.
But tell me, Mr. Sivan, sorry to interrupt you. Do you prepare for failure? Like you work hard and you plan for success. Do you keep the possibility of failure in your mind at all when something like this happens? Do you do that?
Usually, that when we are doing that first time, the new the experiment or new mission, when you are doing first time, always this uncertainty there. In the space system, we used to call the space system that is involved known knowns, known unknowns. There is unknown unknowns. Always we used to keep there's some kind of uncertainty they called unknown unknowns. And this unknown unknowns will be that sometimes it will escape through the first time. And sometimes that we will be experiencing that moment, that event only in the flight, which we could not, we may not be able to do it on ground. So that's what we used to tell, that first mission is always uncertain, and you would have seen that the last 15 minutes is a terrific moment for all of us, because it's a new attempt, a new experiment we are doing, which contains that unknown unknowns, which is the part of that any space system. This one, and exactly for our bad luck, we got into that bad moment, and we lost the chance of soft landing, and we ended up with a hard landing on the moon.
And how did you, the next 24 hours, 48 hours after that? Success, Mr. Sivan, brings people together very easily, and very often we find that when we, like on the cricket field or in life, personally, when we are successful, everyone comes together. But this was one occasion when failure brought us together. And there was this hashtag proud of ISRO. Why? I think the reason people felt so proud of you was because they were watching it and they could just see in your eyes, your body language, your actions, your sincerity, your hard work, your effort, your sacrifice, and your disappointment. It was all, we could empathize with you. Even people like me, we don't understand science, but we felt like coming and giving you a hug. What was the mood in ISRO over the next 1 or 2, 3, 4 days after that, when the whole country said, we are so proud of ISRO, go and do it again, we'll stand with you? What was happening within ISRO at that time?
Actually, that immediately after that event, immediately after the Honorable Prime Minister left the place, we sat together and we started analyzing the data, and immediately that we were on the job of understanding what really happened, and almost that we got an overall idea of what really happened. This one. In the meantime, that is what we did was that the probable location of hard landing, whether we could locate that that lander which landed. That way also that is we could trace that images and found. And then based on that data, whatever analysis we did, that is we are really going through the data and understand what really went wrong. This one. And then immediately we came into the action that definitely it is that we are supposed to give that details to the Honorable Prime Minister, because he was our minister in charge. So we are supposed to give that answer what really gone wrong. So that we constituted that national level committee, and we were behind that, and we provided all the data required for the committee, and they have gone through, and then really that 4-5 days were really that very taxing moment for all of us to understand what really down, and to analyze and to give answer to the government what government went wrong. That was our duty, and we did that one.
Mr. Sivan, may I use the opportunity of knowing a little bit more about you? I'm told that you're a very private person. You only talk about work. You only talk about ISRO. But, you know, I love to talk to people who become inspirations. And, you know, once upon a time, people used to say, if we become scientists, we want to work in NASA. Now everybody says, when we become scientists, we want to work in ISRO, and you are one of those reasons. You're a humble man, you're a very modest man, but your life, you know, is an inspiration to many of my viewers. So, Mr. Sivan, can you tell me a little bit about your own background from your village in Tamil Nadu? You went to government schools barefoot. You have worked on your father's farm, and you know, you joined the Madras Institute of Technology. Can you just tell me a little bit about your childhood and your initial story, and the obstacles that you overcame to reach where you are today?
Basically, that's actually you are very nicely summarized what I want to tell, but still I wanted to elaborate. See, that is, I have one unique characteristic, the sense. Also, maybe because of the background, what we have, I have grown up, this one. And when I was studying in that primary school, government school, we didn't have any big the dream or this one. Like people used to tell that I have a dream, become scientist like that. At that time, that our the main aim is to get food for our stomach, and so that we have to work in that farm. That our school that not only secondary this one, and at the same time that when I was growing up, my aim was to only become a teacher or it's a bank employee like that. And only thing is that when I did my after my pre-university, at that time that the pre-university was the thing. Then I wanted to go for engineering, but my father said, "No, you cannot go to engineering. I cannot pay the expenditure." So he asked me to go to the BSc, and then I went to BSc. Then after that BSc, then my professor told me to go to Madras Institute of Technology. And one thing that I have seen that in my all along, that is one experience I had, that probably that I may be exaggerating, but still I want to tell. Whatever I was trying to get as my first choice, I never got it. I always got disappointed. But at the same time, then after I got into that next that what I got, instead of what I thought, what I got, I found that was the right thing. So sometimes I used to feel that the Dalai Lama's statement, sometimes that whatever you are not getting, there is a wonderful stroke of luck. So definitely that way that I grown up. And that after BSc, I went to the Madras Institute of Technology. After Madras Institute of Technology studies, I wanted to go for a job. But at that time, aeronautical engineering, but I didn't get a job. So I was forced to go to the ME. Then like that, it was going on. And wherever I was trying to get into, but I never got a first chance. So I always get that second chance. But I consider that as a second chance is always a good for me. Then I really came up like that. So.
That's very fascinating, Mr. Sivan. I also never got my first option ever. I wanted to do economics honors. I did not get admission. I wanted to do law after that. I could not do law. When I did my master's, I wanted to do a PhD. I could not get the funding and the fellowship for the PhD. So, so therefore I entered the field of journalism. But sometimes, life is like that, no? That you don't get your first choice, but you still work towards your long-term dream. What is your dream project, Mr. Sivan? ISRO has huge number of missions. You have got Gaganyaan, then there is, which is the biggest space mission about sending astronauts to space. And then you've got the Mars mission, which is Mangalyaan 2 in orbit. Best of luck for that. I'm excited about the Venus mission. I think it is mission Shukrayaan 1. And there is the Aditya L1 project. You have your eyes set on the sun. Deep down, which is your dream project that you want to see accomplished? Which is the project which is very close to your heart?
See, that is, first of all, that is that all the projects are really, it is that it will be very, very important thing, and we always work with a full heart. At the same time, that I would say that that one dream I have, this one, say we should put a man safely into orbit and bringing back safely back to Earth. This is the one the vision that I have in the mission, because there are definitely other areas. That is that when we are talking about Aditya L1 mission, as a mission point of view, it is similar to any other mission. Only thing is payloads are different. And when you talk about the Venus mission, the mission point of view, it is similar to what we have achieved, like the Mangalyaan mission and other things. Only things payloads are different. Whereas the Gaganyaan project is the one which is 100% the totally new to us, and it needs a lot of new technology to be developed. This one. And that also the human safety is more important. The reliability of the system is more important. And we are working with a very full heart for achieving this Gaganyaan.
At what stage are we of that? Like, what is the stage of development of this entire mission?
This particular thing is actually that it was going on with a very high speed, but now because of the COVID, the issues now slightly slowed down. Now that the design phase of this the mission is over, now we are entering into the realization phase and testing phase. And we could have done a lot of tests by this time. That because of the COVID, we are not able to move. Otherwise, that it is in a good shape of realization phase. Parallelly, we have selected the astronauts and we have sent them for training in Russia. After that one, they will be coming back to India, and India also they will be having training. So we are working parallelly on many systems on this area.
And this is all in secrecy, like we don't get to know who the astronaut is. The name is not revealed. Why is that?
Yes. No, that mainly because that is that when we are if we are revealing that name, definitely that is that there will be more and more the disturbance for them, that they are not able to concentrate on their work.
But how excited? How many of them are there? Like how many astronauts have you chosen?
We selected 4 people.
4, and will right all now, 4 be going into space? Or will some of them be going?
Only that we have that our module capable of carrying 3 people. But for the first mission, that all 3 may not be going. Maybe that 1 or 2 that will be decided maybe very closer to that mission. But we are giving a training for all the 4 people.
And is it like that is so this Gaganyaan mission will take them to space? And they will return to Earth after how much time? Like how much of a period will they stay in space, and where will they be docked in space?
That they will be, as per the design, they will be able to in space for 7 days. But for the first mission, probably we may not wait for 7 days. We will be bringing them very quickly, because that's what done internationally all the countries. First mission, they will be reducing the number of astronauts because the human value. Because first time when you are
So
trying,
will they be
all
living in a
sorts of
space
uncertainty
station
will be
when
there.
they are?
Can you repeat?
Will
that?
they be in a space station?
No. They will be in our module only. They are not in that space station. Nothing. They are our module contains two parts. One is that service module. Another is that crew module. The crew module is a module where these astronauts will be living there. They are staying there. The service module will be providing the power and other the facilities to
Fascinating.
the crew module. They will be in that our own module. They will not go to space station and then come back in the module.
Wow. I mean, say, give us a timeline, like 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. What is the period in which this could happen?
Basically, this timeline is our Honorable PM himself declared. That is before our 75th anniversary of the independence, we should place the astronaut into space. And that's what we have targeted for 2021, December as the target, with a cushion of 8 months. But unfortunately, due to this our COVID conditions, all our schedules are going slightly shifted. But still, we are feeling that we will be able to achieve before the deadline set by our Honorable PM.
When it's such a big responsibility on your shoulders, do you get stressed about it? Do you worry about what could go wrong, what could go right, the micro details? How do you handle stress with a project of this scale and significance on your shoulders? And so many of them, in fact.
Yes, your voice was breaking, but I can understand what your question is. See, when such a big responsibility is there, in ISRO, it's a beautiful system. It is not the load, and everybody will be sharing the load. Like that is the launch vehicle thing will be handled by that launch vehicle team, and at the same time the crew module will be handled by that satellite team. Like that, different people will be handling taking the load. And only thing is, it is the chairman's responsibility is putting them together and bringing them together and make them to work in the possible, give some please given direction. Definitely that load should be there, but load is always distributed because of the teamwork culture of ISRO. That is a way.
Mr. Sivan, I have been following a lot about the SpaceX and Elon Musk, and I'm sure you've also been following what he's doing. This May we saw the historic SpaceX launch of NASA astronauts, and it became the first private company to do so. Do you see India creating its own Elon Musks and Crew Dragons like astronaut missions? You had said that private sector will open up a new space era. Do you see this also playing out?
Sir, what I am seeing is that if not immediately, in future, I am sure that we'll get many Elon Musk. Because the type of enthusiasm that the startup companies that are providing for technology development, at the same time that big industries also showing interest in getting into our space venture. I'm sure that in future this Elon Musk will be there from India. That I am sure.
Wow. That's absolutely fantastic. Last quick question to you, Mr. Sivan. Our adversary to beat for many people would say is China. There is a new space race which is taking place in the world, and in May, China announced the launch of its most advanced rocket and tests of a crew capsule, Long March 5B, for lunar and space station missions. can we beat China in the long run in the space race, medium term or long term? Because we already beat them to Mars in 2014.
I'm sure that maybe in future that some of the technology we may be able to beat China. But right now, I'm not able to tell anything very clearly. But in future, it may happen. Yes, but our youngsters are definitely capable of developing the technologies, and we always show that we are second to none.
Yeah.
We can always make our India more technological powerhouse. I'm sure that our youngsters will do the job.
Absolutely. Mr. Sivan, I'd like you to end with your mission, because what is your mission statement? There are so many dreamers, scientists, entrepreneurs who are watching you now, and we are so proud of you. Viewers, ISRO's record: 109 spacecraft missions, 77 launch missions. They have launched 319 foreign satellites, and they have 36 missions over the next 2 years. Mr. Sivan taking out time for the interview itself is tough to get time with him. He's a super busy man. What's your message to the new generation, the next generation of space scientists, dreamers and entrepreneurs, Mr. Sivan, who have their sights set on space?
Sir, I am telling you this, that the space is a vast area, and that the opportunity for the space also is very vast. There is a lot of opportunity for the entrepreneurs to develop new technology, and I'm sure that the Indian brains are not less than anybody else in the world. I'm very sure that, and I am dreaming, and one day India should be that number one technology powerhouse in the globally. That I want these youngsters to work for that and achieve that one. I should see this scenario in the near future.
Absolutely.
That's my dream.
Absolutely.
Yes,
we are very excited for that. I've really enjoyed talking to you. Thank you so much, Mr. Sivan. I look forward to meeting you personally soon. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.